Joining us now, Texas Congressman Michael Burgess, a Republican leader of the House Energy and Commerce Subcommittee on Health. Thanks, Congressman, for being here. You are pushing to reopen schools in Texas, despite the fact that the state is seeing something of a resurgence in coronavirus. Why?
Well, opening schools is important, but do bear in mind Texas is a big state, and there are different parts of the state where the answer may look a little bit different. Now, in South Texas before the hurricane, there was significant community spread, and perhaps there the opening of the schools was going to look different from what it might look in my area, more in the northern part of the state, where the numbers have not been nearly as high. Doesn't mean that the problem is over, doesn't mean that the virus has been beaten. The virus will be beaten, whether it be by a vaccine or some other medical countermeasure. We always do. We will this time as well. And I got to tell you, I am extremely encouraged. We did have a hearing on the Operation Warp Speed in our committee last week. Such significant effort is going into developing these viral countermeasures and the vaccine development. I truly believe we're about 3 months away from actually having a very workable vaccine, which puts us on a trajectory very similar to the H1N1 flu of 2010. And people now probably don't recall, but it was the same sort of controversy. Do you open the schools in the fall with H1N1 being such a bad actor? And there it did affect kids disproportionately and affected young women who might be teaching in those classrooms. This virus is bad. Children are not its primary target, but you still have to behave. You have to behave responsibly.
Right. Dr. Tom Frieden, the former head of the CDC, is on Fox News Sunday today, and he says we just don't know an awful lot about this virus still. Here he is.
Kids may be less likely to spread the virus to others, but there's very little evidence about that. And some of the science, some of the virus studies suggest that older kids, 10, 12 and up, behave a lot like adults in their ability to spread the disease. We don't know for sure.
So there are an awful lot of questions remaining, but you still say that opening the school is the right thing to do.
The current head of the CDC had pointed out to us on a call last week about what the numbers are as far as children being affected by the virus, and they are small, very much different from 10 years ago when Dr. Frieden was head of the CDC and the swine flu was a real problem. Look, no one ever gets everything absolutely right. You learn as you go along. This is a new virus. We don't know the biologic behavior in all situations, but I will tell you, the medical countermeasures have come a long way. To keep the schools completely shuttered into the fall, throughout the entire country, my opinion would be a mistake. There are other consequences to families and children from doing that. Not just the year of learning that would be lost for this year's students, but there are other intangible benefits that students get in school that they are not getting right now. And we do need to have an eye on those things as well.
Well, and the economic damage continues.
And the economic damage will continue until we do get the appropriate viral countermeasures. And again, that is why I am so impressed by this administration. Look, the previous administration, when Dr. Frieden was head of the CDC, I don't recall the type of effort, I don't recall the type of encouragement that was given to the private sector and even the academic sector to develop these medical countermeasures. You heard some other announcements just at the end of the week about some additional dollars that were going into the vaccine development. Yeah. This administration has leaned into the problem. This problem will be solved, and I believe it's actually going to be solved sooner rather than later. But from an economic development standpoint,
you're right about
economic recovery, you have to open the schools.
Texas Congressman Michael Burgess. Congressman, thanks.
Thank you.